Alright, today we are doing a review for our test, so please make sure you pay attention. This is going to be our cheat sheet or our good notes to use on our test. So first, we solved proportions that were already set up for us by cross multiplying. We're going to set one cross equal to the other cross. So for example, 4 times x is just 4x. Set that equal to the other cross, which is 3 times 16. I'm going to plug 3 times 16 into my calculator. 3 times 16 gives me 48. And over here we have 4x. Our goal is to get x by itself, so the opposite of multiplying by 4 is dividing by 4. So 48 divided by 4 gives us 12. We're going to solve the same thing over here. 45 times 8 on one side, and set it equal to the other, which is 72 times w, or 72w. So 45 times 8 gives me 360, and over here we just have 72w. Well, the opposite of multiply is divide. Divide by 72. Oops, that's a 7. And we have w equals, we should get a nice 5. There we go. These next two are not set up for us. These are word problems we need to first set up as a proportion and then solve. It says 9 is to 3, so we can write that as 9 over 3. As means equals to x is to 12, written as x over 12. So just like before, we're going to cross multiply. 3 times x is 3x. 9 times 12, I'm going to plug in my calculator, and it gives me 108, and we have 3x. The opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing by 3. So 108 divided by 3 gives me 36. Whoa, going crazy. Let's try that again. 36. That's better. Same thing here. We're going to write this as a proportion. 9 is to g, or I'm sorry, g is to 9, so g over 9, as 16 is to 12. So write that just as you see it, 16 over 12. So cross multiply. 9 times 16 on one side equal to 12 times g, or g times 12. Doesn't matter, it's 12g. 9 times 16 in my calculator gives me 144. And then we have 12g over here. The opposite of multiplying by 12 is dividing by 12. 144 divided by 12 is just 12, because 12 times 12 is 144. These next few, also we are cross multiplying. Set it up just like we've been. 4 times 15 on one side. Set equal to the other, which is negative 5n times 2. Now remember, this is multiplied, so we can just multiply these numbers because it's all multiplication. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10 with the h. 4 times 15 should give me a nice 60. And then last, the opposite of multiplying by negative 10 is dividing by negative 10. So 60 divided by 10 is 6, but it's a negative. Happy and grumpy, they don't get along. Next, this is where we became a little bit more difficult. When we cross multiply, remember this has addition or subtraction that has to stay together. So we have 6 times 2x plus 1. And on the other side, we have 34 times 3. Well, 34 times 3, that would be easier to do, I think. That will give us 102. On this side, we see parentheses. I need to draw a box to multiply. 6, and then we have 2x plus 1. Well, 6 times 2 is 12, so 12x. 6 times 1 is just 6. So we have 12x plus 6 equals 102. And then just solve for x. Get rid of your addition or subtraction, just like we've been doing. Get rid of that positive 6. I'm going to subtract 6. 12x. And then if I subtract this, we can count backwards. It should give us 96. And then last, the opposite of multiply by 12 is divide by 12. 96 divided by 12 should give us 8. I just plugged that in my calculator. Now if I'm going a little bit too quick, feel free to pause the video and make sure you're writing everything down. This next one, we see adding or subtracting here, so I know that needs to be in parentheses. We have 8 times negative 4a minus 1. Set equal to our other cross, which is 3 times a negative 10a. Well, this is just multiplied, so we can multiply 3 times negative 10, which gives us a negative 30a. And on this side, I need to distribute. So multiply those. 8 times 4 is 32a, and it's negative. 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. So we have negative 32a minus 8 equals negative 30a. That's a negative. So if we want all the a's together, it doesn't matter which one you move, but if I move this one, there's nothing left. So I'm going to move this negative 32a over to be with the other a's, so I'm going to add 32a. Those eliminate. We have negative 8 equals, and negative 30 plus 32, there's more positives. There are 2 more positives, so it'll be a 2a. And then last, the opposite of multiply is divide. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and it's negative. So a is negative 4. I would encourage you to try this last one on your own and check to see if you got it right. We are cross multiplying, so y times 10 is just 10y. And then on the other side, we have 8 times this whole piece in parentheses, y plus 5. So we need to distribute over here. 8 is our teacher, y plus 5 is in our classroom. 8 times y, just put them together, 8y. And 8 times 5 is a nice 40. So we have 8y plus 40. And over here, I didn't do anything, I just have 10y. Well, I have y's on both sides. I need them only on one side, so I'm going to move this one over to be with the other y's. I'm going to subtract 8y. And that leaves us with 2y equals 40. And then last, the opposite of multiply is divide by 2. Y equals 20. 40 divided by 2 should give us a nice 20. Flip over to the back side. Function form. Function form really just means solve for y, or we want y all by itself. So in order to solve for y on this one, I just need to move my 8x to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 8x. So I have y equals, and remember we said to write our x's first, negative 8x, and then plus 14. The reason we will get to, for why we put x first, we'll get to that in the next chapter. But just know you can't combine 14 minus 8. If you wrote y equals 6x, that would be wrong. Because 14 minus 8, yes, it's 6, but you can't combine those because one has an x and the other doesn't. So this is our answer. Same thing right here. We want y by itself. The opposite of adding 15 would be subtracting 15. I can't combine those. One has an x and one doesn't, but write your x's first. 11x minus 15. And there's our answer. The last two, again, solving for y. Leave your y's here. I need to move this 2 over to the other side. I'm going to do the opposite of what I see, subtract 2. Notice I put it under the 4 because we can combine those together. You can't combine the 2 with the x because one is a little letter. So we have negative 6y, and then we have 12x, Negative 4 minus 2, these are all negative, same sign. Add and keep, negative 6. And then last, the opposite of multiply is divide. Divide every number by negative 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2x, but it's negative. They don't get along. Here, two negatives make a positive, and 6 divided by 6 is 1. This last one, try it with me. We want to get y all by itself. I'm going to move the 6x over to the other side. Add 6x. We have negative 5y plus 15 equals 6x. If you want, you can write plus 0, but you don't really need it. It's just 0. And then I want to keep my y's here. Move this 15, subtract 15. We have negative 5y. Can't combine these. One has an x and the other doesn't, so 6x minus 15. And then last, the opposite of multiplying by negative 5 is dividing by negative 5. Now 6 over 5, that's not going to be a nice fraction, so we're just going to leave it as 6 over 5. It's negative. It doesn't matter if the negative's on the top or the bottom, but it's there, and there's an x. And then 15 divided by 5 is 3, and two negatives multiply or divide to make a positive. So this would be your correct answer. Good luck on your test, and make sure you ask questions if you have any.